7th Judicial Circuit in and for St. Johns County, Florida, State of Florida versus Anthony Josiah Guadalupe. Case number CF 22-1185. Verdict: we the jury find the defendant, Anthony Josiah Guadalupe, as follows. Count 1, guilty of charges of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 2, guilty of the charge of unlawful and lascivious act, a lesser included offense. Count 3, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 6, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 7, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 8, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 9, not guilty. Count 10, guilty of the charge of unlawful and lascivious act, a lesser included offense. Count 11, not guilty. Count 12, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 13, not guilty. Count 14, not guilty. Count 15, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation. Count 16, guilty of the charge of unlawful and lascivious act, a lesser included offense. Count 17, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 18, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 19, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. Count 20, not guilty. Count 21, guilty of the charge of attempted lewd and lascivious molestation, a lesser included offense. Count 22, guilty of the charge of lewd and lascivious molestation as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at St. Johns County, Florida, this 19th day of June, 2024, CS, 4-person.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will either side to poll the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Clerk, if you could please poll the jury.
Jury number 1, is the verdict as published your verdict?
Yes.
Your juror number 1.
Juror number 2, is the verdict as published your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is the verdict as published your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is the verdict as published your verdict? Juror number 5, is the verdict as published your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is the verdict as published your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you. You can be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for the time and consideration that you've given to this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that are enjoyed by all jurors. No juror can be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. At this time, I'm going to excuse the 6 of you with our many thanks for the time that you have and consideration that you have given us this week. We will escort you down to the parking lot and escort you out to your cars. Our bailiffs will take you out there. We will collect your juror buttons, and once again, on behalf of everyone involved, we thank you. jury has exited the courtroom. Everyone else in the court can be seated at this time. All right, are there any matters to be addressed at this time? I know that we need to schedule a sentencing hearing based on the jurors' findings.
Yeah, other than that, Your Honor, I don't have anything at this time.
We have previously ordered a PSI in this case. It will now need to be amended, so that will take some time, but certainly we will not have to wait as long as we normally would for a pre-sentence investigation. So tell me a time frame of when you all would like to schedule a sentencing hearing. I know that it will probably take quite a bit of time. I would imagine that we're hearing from a lot of folks on both sides of this.
And I anticipate they're likely calling experts. I would be calling experts. We need to coordinate those calendars, and then I'm assuming impact testimony from the sustainable family members. So yes, I would anticipate it would probably take potentially well over half a day, maybe a full day, realistically, with expert testimony and impact testimony.
I assume you do not know the calendars of your experts
Not at
today,
all.
so this is not something I'll be able to schedule.
No, sir. So I don't know if you want us to reach out to your JA, like the two of us kind of coordinate with our experts, reach out to your JA and see what dates we can come up with.
All right, let's set a control date, just so we have something on the calendar. This will be changed, obviously, once we have a better idea. What we'll do is set it for July 10th. That is my docket sounding date for the 2-week trial period in July. With the hopes that we could potentially schedule it during that 2-week trial period in July if possible.
Your Honor, I'm unavailable during that time frame. I would, if we could set it sometime the first week of August. Or if we did it, I mean, I don't necessarily want to wait till the August trial schedule.
When will you be able to contact your experts and find out their availability? By Friday?
Oh,
I'm going to
yes.
start tomorrow, yes.
Okay. Then let's do this. I'll set it just as a control date, just so that there's something on the docket for, you won't be here July 10th either.
No. Okay.
We'll set it for July 30th as a status. That will not be the day of the sentencing, to be clear. That is just a control date.
And I may have to have someone stand in for me because I'm out of town that day, but I could probably have a prosecutor stand in.
I do not, it will not happen that day.
Right, I know, that's what I'm saying. I could have somebody stand in and update the court with our calendars. Which
My intention is that once you have spoken to your experts, you're going to contact my office on Friday, and we're going to schedule this on that day, and I'm going to cancel that July 31st date altogether. But I just want some type of control date on the calendar,
Yes, sir.
and then we will schedule the sentencing hearing once we have the availability of your experts and the court's calendar as well. But it will most likely be in early August. That would be the sentencing date that we're shooting for.
Perfect.
All right?
And that's July 30th, even though I know we're not planning on being here. What time is that? Just so I know.
We'll set it for 1:30.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other matters that we need to address at this time from the state?
No, sir.
Any other matters from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
So I would have Wilmington to start with the Not too big.